Okay guys, this is the first educational part of the module, and I do want you to watch it, and it's very important that you make your way through this because I'm going to explain a lot of things. Now, some of this is just information for you because I want you to learn. I want you to understand these things and not always need me if you don't have me. So let's talk about some few things. Now, when it comes to weightlifting, why does it work? Well, there's something called the human adaptation syndrome, which is really just a fancy way of saying basically human bodies adapt to anything, but they have to be forced to do it. They don't really like to change, and they only do it if they have to. So when we talk about lifting weights, we talk about lifting heavy weights. The thing is, the heavy weights force our bodies to get stronger because they go, oh man, I have to do this over and over again. I better get better at it. And what that does is it makes our body want to create this lean muscle. Now I'm simplifying this a little bit, but that's the idea. So if you're lifting weights that aren't challenging for your body, well, that just means your body doesn't have to do anything different or change itself to get better at them. So when you see people lifting weights that aren't very challenging for them, and like light weights do whatever the industry says they do, they don't. They don't really do much of anything except, they burn some calories. You could be doing cardio with weights, but that's not weightlifting. Weightlifting, we have to challenge the body. It has to be a struggle to move those weights, but that struggle is going to force your body to change in a great way. It's gonna build lean muscle. It's gonna make you strong. It's gonna make you look amazing. You're gonna be toned. You're gonna look great. You're gonna feel good. And that's the truth about weightlifting. It's good for your bones. It makes you look good. It's great. And it's even good for your heart, believe it or not. It does all those things they say cardio does, just better. Not that you shouldn't do cardio. Cardio is still good. But let's talk about that's what has to happen with weightlifting. You have to struggle because that's what makes the change happen. So if you're not struggling with those weights a little bit here and there, you're not gonna get any change. And I need you to really think about that as we're going into this because you have to struggle. You cannot be running through these workouts going, oh, that was easy. I want you to finish every workout. Maybe not everyone, but most workouts you should be like, oh my goodness, that was so hard, but I did it. And that is what's gonna make your body change. Now, that's just the general concept. And yes, let's throw out those myths. No, you're not gonna get gigantic from lifting weights 2 to 3, even 4 times a week. You're gonna have to get way far advanced and you're gonna have to eat a lot of food, which is we'll come up to next, to ever get that big. So don't worry about it. And even if you did get big, I'm just gonna let you know, it goes away really fast. So do not be stressed about getting big. It's a myth, it doesn't happen, and if it does, it's really easy to get rid of. Now, the next thing I wanna go into is some terms that I'm gonna be throwing around inside of your fitness program, because I use them a lot in the way that I style my workouts and my program. So I want you to understand them because you're gonna kind of need to if you wanna get through this and not have to ask a million questions. So one of the really big terms that I'm gonna use is called an EMOM, or every minute for X amount of minutes. All those things mean is every minute on the minute or every 3 minutes for 15 minutes. Those just mean you have a certain amount of work to do inside of a minute or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever minute base I say, you have that long to finish. So if I say every minute on the minute, you have to do 5 push-ups. That means you have 60 seconds to do 5 push-ups. If you do those 5 push-ups in about, let's say 30 seconds, then you get to rest for 30 seconds. If it took you 20 seconds to do those 5 push-ups, you would get to rest for 40 seconds. Basically, you have the whole minute to do the whole amount of work, but you only get to rest until the next minute starts. Now, if I do something bigger, like every 3 minutes or 15 minutes, that means it's 5 sets, but for 3 minutes, you might have to do 3 things. Let's say 5 push-ups, 10 squats, and a pull-up. So you have 3 minutes to do all 3 of those exercises for that many reps. And all your leftover time is how long you get to rest. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. You can always ask questions in the group. Feel free to reach out, we'll re-explain it. But that's a big one you're gonna see is EMOMs and every minute for X amount of minutes. Those structures are important. I use them a lot, so make sure you understand those. The next term we're gonna go over is AMRAPs. And all that stands for is as many rounds as possible or as many reps as possible. They're interchangeable. They basically mean the same things. It basically means I might just say 15-minute AMRAP. That means for 15 minutes, whatever I give you, you just keep doing it for 15 minutes and do as many of them as you can. So if I say 10 squats, 5 push-ups, 10 pull-ups, you just keep doing that circuit over and over for 15 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever amount of time that I put. And that's all an AMRAP is. Just means do it for as long as possible in that time frame, do as many reps as you can. That one's a little simpler and easier to understand. When it comes to something called RPE, which you'll see me writing in, it stands for rate of perceived effort. And all that really kind of means is how hard did it feel to you? So if I say RPE of 8, that means I want it pretty hard because it's a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 being easy, 10 being like, oh my God, I might die. A lot of the training we're gonna do is an RPE of 8 to 9. So we want really hard, just short of actual like passing out death challenge, but way above average, right? We have to work our bodies. Having said that, sometimes, depending on where you're at in the program, I might need you to have an easy workout, maybe because we've been working out really hard and we want to take your body and give it a little rest, but we don't want to stop training. We just want to keep you moving while it recovers. Sometimes you might see something like RPE of 5 or 6. And that just honestly means do some exercises, move, feel them, but don't push yourself too much, usually on purpose for a reason. But I want you to understand that RPE is about how much effort you're putting forth. EMOM is a style of training in a certain amount of time, and AMRAP is doing as many as you can of something within a time frame. So, with all that, you should be educated on why weights are awesome. You should now have all the lovely terms you're gonna need to train with me and get super fit. Next, let's talk about food.